We Santo, Man Kolnyang, Mike, Shol Grangawan, Yuping Yarul Pandiri Shet Maniel, Anaketon Niel, Jilo, Winetona Dol. I think a kick, Kegabuka, Devoy, Anyalia, dear Kuika, Pingrin, Gemanalia, when I jang along, I do Kegaparami, Madina Maja, Kubo, Makur, Kegaboli, Kuai, Jam, Pagari, Kegela, Emmanuel, when you go, I think a kick, Kegabuka. Call you upon the Lord. You are the you are good meat to meet one. Could I go boy low up and then Kayogo? I lay you train is young as you are the who was in money melody. Money yog, you call it to go by in good, and let on the banana. Hey, you pay a matona road, Jemana to the lake, joy, be tired calling Dubai. Punya you to jogging by the pandemic, which in our dam, I my little train, Jalakabi, good educate, Kill Banan, good old boy, low up and Kayogo, I lay you train, is young as you are the who was in money melody. Money yog, you call it to go by in good, yellow tiny banana.
Hello, Uncle Tirpang, good one. The more than you have one. Long time. And welcome everybody. Welcome. Good evenings. Good night, wherever you guys are. And a happy birthday. We have a lot of people on Sudan. We have the Badu MC, Negro Media, everyone. Welcome, guys. So we having a breaking news going on in Sudan. Sudan has there's a video that I will play, and then I will look at our Okay, welcome guys. Welcome. Good evening, good morning, and good night wherever you guys are tuning in. So thank you for joining our show. It is a Tuesday evening here. For those of you watching on YouTube, Facebook, and also some of you are listening to Clubhouse, thank you for joining me. And you can share our live video. So before we go back to our topic of this evening, let us start with the breaking news in Sudan. There is aggressive going on between Sudan government and RSF. There is a drone that has fired into the Port Sudan, and one of the gas station belonged to South Sudan that flooding the crucial oil from the oil side to the Red Sea. That oil site has been bombed in Port Sudan. I have some of the image and voice, but before that, listen to the Sudan, the defense councils. So they have declared that they are cut tie with the UAE. So listen to the gentleman right here. So he is really.
بيان من مجلس الأمن والدفاع. ظل السودان بأثره يتابع ولأكثر من عامين جريمة العدوان على سيادة السودان ووحدة أراضيه وأمن مواطنيه من دولة الأمارات العربية المتحدة وعبر وكيلها المحلي ميليشيا الدعم السريع المتمردة الإرهابية وظهيرها السياسي. وعندما تيقنت دولة الأمارات من هزيمة وكيلها المحلي الذي دحرته قواتنا المسلحة المؤسسة الشرعية المناط بها الزود عن حياض الوطن والحفاظ على مقدراته، صعدت دعمها وسخرت المزيد من إمكانياتها لإمداد التمرد بأسلحة استراتيجية متطورة ظلت تستهدف بها المنشآت الحيوية والخدمية بالبلاد، وآخرها استهداف مستودعات النفط والغاز وميناء ومطار بور السودان ومحطات الكهرباء والفنادق، وعرضت حياة ملايين المدنيين وممتلكاتهم للخطر، الأمر الذي يهدد الأمن الإقليمي والدولي وبصفة خاصة أمن البحر الأحمر. على أثر هذا العدوان المستمر قرر مجلس الأمن والدفاع الآتي: أولا، إعلان دولة الأمارات العربية المتحدة دولة عدوان. ثانيا، قطع العلاقات الدبلوماسية معها. ثالثا وأخيرا، سحب السفارة السودانية والقنصلية العامة. واتساقا مع نص وروح المادة 51 من ميثاق الأمم المتحدة التي أعطت الدول الحق في الدفاع عن نفسها، يحتفظ السودان بالحق في رد العدوان بكافة السبل للحفاظ على سيادة البلاد ووحدة أراضيها ولضمان حماية المدنيين واستمرار وصول المساعدات الإنسانية. يسمن المجلس مجاهدات الشعب السوداني وقواته المسلحة والشرطة والأمن والقوات المشتركة والمقاومة الشعبية، ويطمن الأمة السودانية بأن الدولة قادرة على ردع العدوان والحفاظ على أمن البلاد. أدام الله السودان عزيزا مكرما وشامخا ومستقرا ومنتصرا، والله ولي التوفيق.
Now you heard that. So according to they are now saying that they are cutting tie with UAE because of Sudan. They say, according to them, they say that the AUE, the United Arab Emirates, are on Tuesday declare a Gulf nation aggression state. The Sudanese Defense Ministry, which is the Yasser Ibrahim, announced that the Sudan was serving a diplomatic relationship with the AUE, withdrew his ambassador and closed its embassy. That is what is going on here. Accused the UAE of violating Sudan's sovereignty through the proxy with the RSF, which has been fighting the army since April last 2023. The entire world has witnessed. So anyway, that is the news going on. So you guys see the bombing going on in Port Sudan, which is there's a drone used by RAP support forces. There is a gas station that they bomb in Port Sudan, and that crucial oil is a part of.
ممكن القول أنها أصابت عمليات التصدير القائمة الآن بالنسبة لبترول جمهورية جنوب السودان إلى الأسواق العالمية أصابته ببعض العطب وببعض الشلل، وذلك لأن هذه العمليات كلها مرتبطة مع بعضها البعض. المحطات القائمة على مسألة التصدير تعمل قطعا بالوقود وتعتمد كذلك على إمداد كهربائي متواصل ومستمر.
أنا برضه من الحكومة إن الحكومة ترى تدينا معلومة حال الكلام ده صح ولا ما صح. الحكومة يحاول يقول لنا إنه تشوفوا حاجة في السودان سائلين البترول السوق العالمي ده هل حصل فيه خسائر تربحت مواد حقيقية ولا ما حصلت؟ وبالنسبة لنا ده أنا معارض لجنوب السودان وده كان يكون مصادر للأموال لجنوب السودان. نحتاج من الحكومة إنه تدينا معلومة نسمع من الوزارة الخارجية، هي نسمع من وزارة الأسئلة البترولية اللي يثبت لنا إنه حال تشوف التراجع بتأثر بالبترول لجنوب السودان في السوق العالمي وأم لا.
So there you have it. So that is what's going on now. I hope things will getting bad over there. I don't know what government of South Sudan will do about that event going on. As you all know that South Sudan depend on that oil. 95% of economy depend on oil. If that things happen in Port Sudan, that means the oil will stop. And I don't know what will be the response to the South Sudan government regarding about what's going to happen in Port Sudan. Let me go back to our topic of today. So, as you know, the African Union, IGAD, they visit Juba. So they 2 days now, yesterday and today, they held the meeting. So they released their press statement here, which is I have on me here. Let me read it out. Which is very, they are now focused with the peace implementation of ARPS 2018. The question that I'm asking you today, Yajinobin, is the peace implementation will be done without Dr. Riek Machar? That's the question we all need to ask and the answer. Yet the AU and African Union, IGAD, press release, they're saying that I put on the screen, you guys can see that, and some of you have it today. So the press release of today, the title, they joined the African Union Commission, IGAD official visit to Republic of South Sudan, Juba, May 6, 2025. So the African Union, AUC, and the international and IGAD jointly reaffirmed their unwavering support to the government and the people of South Sudan. Okay, in their ongoing pursuing of peace, national unity and democracy government, suitable development. From 5 to 6 May 2025, the chairperson of the African Union Commission undertook an official visit to Juba in a close coordination with IGAD to engage with the South Sudanese authorities and a key stakeholder on the involving the political and security situation and the stage of the peace process. Now, let me pause there for a second. So now that's the mission. So they're going there to see, because we know that the escalation of the violence happened in March 4th, 2025 this year, when the White Army attacks SSPDF in Malakal, killed more than 400 SSPDF forces with their family. And now the government take a decision to arrest the member of IO, SPLA IO, including the chairman, Dr. Riek Machar, which has been placed of house arrest. So the visit, seeing the Dr. Riek Machar was housing arrest, some of the national community, they came and calling for a release of Dr. Riek Machar, like Western country calling for Dr. Riek Machar to be released. And some of the, they came to Juba and they demand to see Dr. Riek Machar. Government denied that. Now, today or yesterday, when IGAD and AU visit Juba, there are nothings, I haven't seen anything in media that the IGAD, the delegate that came to Juba, demand to see Dr. Riek. And according to the list here, I haven't seen anything they are talking about the release of Dr. Riek. Now, let me continue with the video. Okay? The visit come at the moment as South Sudan had went through its transitional period under the RCS agreement on the resolution of conflict in the Republic of South Sudan, RCS. While in Juba, the chairman held the high-level consultation with the HE, President Salva Kiir Mayardit, and other senior government officials. Discussion focused on, number one, persisting the hard-won gain of the peace agreement. Number two, fostering inclusive national dialogue consensus. Number three, supporting the timely, credibly, and transparent implementation of transitional roadmap. And then finally, strengthen the government institutions. So those are the agenda for the IGAD, and African Union came to meet with the government of South Sudan. Now, continuing. In addition, the chairman of IGAD engaged with the regional international partners, including the African Democratic Corps and token representative, to ensure that the cooperation between the force unified approach to support South Sudan transition. The AUC and IGAD emphasize that the peace, sustainability, and inclusive governance are independable foundation for South Sudan is suitable and developmental and regional integration. Okay, the government are indispensable foundation for South Sudan sustainability and developmental and regional integration. The underline the need for mutual or trust, national coexist, respect for a political and civil space, continued commitment for dialogue and compromise. So now you see that. And then finally, the African Union and IGAD remain fully committed to work collaboratively with the government and people of South Sudan, as well as the national and regional partners, to safeguard peace, uphold the principle of RCS, and support the further ground in unity So that is the press statement here. So now, as you see, that press release, there's no anything regarding about the release of Dr. Riek Machar from house arrest. So, or the member of SPLIO. Welcome, Isaac, and the boardman of African, the member of IO that has been arrested. So, which is a good sign that the African Union and IGAD, they are respect the law for the Republic of South Sudan. So the meeting, it seems like the government of South Sudan has approved a meeting with the IGAD delegation. And now let us talk about, this is the question, and you guys can answer this my question. If the peace parliamentation artists, now we have few months, we are in May, right? It's May 6th today, 2025. And the election will be next year. Okay, the election will be next year. So now, will the peace will go on, peace agreement with IO and other stakeholders with the government without Riek Machar? That's the question that we are asking this evening. And you have seen during the meeting, the acting chairman of SPLIO, which is this guy right here. Where is am I? Oh, sorry, Isaac. Which is let me move this guy out here. Okay, here you go. Stephen Pal, Mr. Honorable Stephen Pal. He's an acting chairman of SPLIO. Yesterday in the meeting, he attended that meeting. Is not attending that meeting as a Ministry of Peace. No, he attending that meeting as an acting chairman of SPLIO in replacement of Dr. Riek Machar. So those are the things that I just want to highlight to you. That's another picture right there. Then Mr. Stephen Pal, the acting chairman of SPLIO. So now, I have seen some of the South Sudanese, the SPLIO supporters, they were not happy for the visit of the African Union and IGAD. They thought that the visit should be a way that Dr. Riek Machar would be released from the house arrest, and also to release other SPLIO that is behind bar right now. But that's not the case. The mission IGAD and African Union is come to make sure that the peace agreement artist is make sure that it's not collapse. Now the question is this acting chairman of SPLIO, Stephen Pal, are they going? So now we are waiting. South Sudanese people are waiting for announcement if Dr. Riek will be indicted, will go to court. And if you have we hear from Honorable Michael Mukulwa that if Dr. Riek Machar will go, and I have a video for him here, I will play later on for Michael. If Dr. Machar go to court, his position, his clothes that he wear mean the first vice president of the Republic of South Sudan will be removed before he go to court. So those are the things we are talking about. Some of the picture I'll be some of the video I will play by then, and also the degree. Last night, President issued the degree. I have that video. Before I do that, let me welcome. Here is the degree last night. Isaac, come back. I want to give you. So welcome. So let me give you this welcome. Long time, my brother. How are you? Good evening.
Good, thank you. Good morning on my side.
Oh, good morning. Good morning to you guys.
Yeah, Abraham, a long time. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, my
brother?
All
right, then no worries. Thank you so much, all the viewers of Lagos State Media and the Clubhouse. Greeting to all of you. It's been a long time. I have been away in the social media. Just being busy with other things. Not hiding. Coming to the topic that you have put up forward here, Abraham, regarding the leadership of the SPLM-IO, there is no questions about that. The secretaries of the peace agreement signed in 2018 doesn't warrant or is not a permanent thing. So if anyone of the secretaries or anyone who participating in that peace agreement, like in the SPLM IG or SPLM IO, should anything happen, there is a part of the article within the peace agreement says, should anything happen in one of the leaders, whether in IO or in IG, automatically will be replaced. Is something there. It doesn't mean death or God forbid, but now it happened as a crime. Dr. Riek Machar is still under investigation, and it might take long, but the vacuum of the leadership is a right decision that the SPLM-IO has taken to nominate interim body to lead their movement forward to implement the peace agreement. So that is very clear, and I'm quite sure even the AU and the Western world troika, they cannot hesitate or argue more about that. So we have to put it very clear to the SPLM IO followers or members who are asking or crying that Riek should be released or giving those excuses or hope. This guy has some amount of accusations that needs to be clear in the long-term period of investigation in the court, whether be proved guilty or not guilty. So at the time being, somebody has to lead the party. So that's what I can put in here, and it's a very good question, and people should know the fact. South Sudan has suffered for a long time in the hand of one person, one man, who always defected, caused loss of life, come back, retain the same position, and is agreement after agreement, negotiation after negotiation, all years. We can't last 10 years without Riek being a part of any obstacles of the country. So the world now is aware. This may be the third or fourth time that is implicated involvement of such atrocities, losing massive life. So thank you so much, Abraham. Seeing you on live, I have to say that thank you, and I would like to go out and take some nap. I just came out from work. Now, when I saw you live, I said before I go to bed, I have to join you briefly and contribute, and then I will leave you. Thank you.
And yeah, thank you. Thank you, Isaac. It's great to see you. It's good to be back. People who have been so eager to see your face. It's good. It's around. Isaac is around. We are busy, but sometime one time come, we will continue, you know. Thank you. David Amor is greeting you too. Thank you, Honorable David Amor. Okay, let me give
David Amor Major. Thank you so much. Greeting to you, Honorable. You still awake at this time in Juba. I greet you.
Let us give before you go. We have Majok Marco is joining us in Clubhouse. Majok, welcome. Majok, are you there? Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, I'm in the studio here with our chairman, Isaac. Yeah, go.
Island,
Yeah.
long time.
Long time indeed, SG. Majong Makur, greetings to you. How are you? I will join you in the clubhouse.
Okay. Yeah, Majok, you can go ahead and see what do you think about the visit of the African Union and IGAD and the meeting that they held with the government of South Sudan. And during the meeting, I have seen that they didn't discuss about the release of Dr. Riek Machar and other member of IO that has been arrested. Very much they are focused on the peace agreement, ours to be implemented. So go ahead with your analysis. And I open the areas. If you guys can come up, you can talk. Go ahead, Majuk.
Thank you so much, Abraham Adit and Darak, Isaac Tian, the audience and the viewers on Facebook. First of all, I will appreciate Abraham Adit for creating the room and for bringing this topic for us to discuss and also share our views in regards to what happened today. Many people were
okay. Let me drop the link, Santino. If I don't know if where you join let's send me the page or the timeline. So there's a link that you can click it.
IGAD,
I will open the as a public. You guys can join us.
In Juba will persuade the government in order to adhere to the call of releasing Dr. Riek from house arrest, and after that they will speak about implementation. But it happened not to be the case. And that prompted a lot of questions. What happened? Is the international community already convinced that Dr. Riek is an obstacle to the peaceful South Sudan? Or what happened? Or the international community has realized that something must be ignored in order to move forward. So these are questions many of us are still asking. But credit must be given to where it's due. I may give government credit this time around because it seems like government has stood in the ground without even being checked. Without being checked by the request of the international community and by the threat. As most of you have seen how the US reacted, the Norway, the UK, all these striker countries, they have been constantly demanding the release of Dr. Riek. But for them sitting in Juba and focus much on the implementation of peace, it means somebody somewhere has convinced them beyond reasonable doubt that without Dr. Riek, South Sudan can move forward. And for that reason, they might have seen and recognized the interim body of the SPLM-IO, headed by Stephen Park. And most of us, we have seen in the pictures, Stephen was among the people who attended that meeting. And we assume he was attending the meeting on the ticket of IO as the acting chairman of the SPLM-IO. Maybe the AU and IGAD might have paid close attention to him to believe that maybe this guy can drive the ball home with the President Kiir and the rest of the government. But the question is still, could they believe that without Dr. Riek we can implement peace agreement? Then maybe they could accept so, simply because when you look at Dr. Riek when he was out from 2020 all the way to 2025 before the Nasser incident, Dr. Riek and the IO specifically have been actually sabotaging anything. When we talk about the election, they sabotage the election. saying that we cannot move forward until Chapter 2 is implemented. And this Chapter 2 is not even moving forward. And when they are told we have to integrate the army forces so that we have unified forces, they always confronted with the several resistance, saying we don't have weapons, we don't have budgets, we don't have all this. When Honorable Tukel or Ambassador Tukel was in charge, and the roadmap was launched. That's where they show us the samples of unified forces in quotes, which end up that they were not actually integrated and they were not actually unified until the Nasser incident. So them sabotaging the election, what they were hoping for did not go through. And most of you may attest to this. When President Kiir committed himself to engage the whole group, the IO is specifically sabotaging Dr. Riek himself, sent 2 little kids to go and sabotage people in Nairobi. And for that, even Kolmana Juk expect that this peace must be sabotaged for them to succeed. And fortunately, none of them achieved the agenda politically, nor IO or even Kolmana himself. And Kolmana would have used his wisdom to tell the IO that all of us are South Sudanese and we are political actors for this country to move forward. Now the international community has given what people were not expecting, and that is a slap in the face of Dr. Riek. People were not expecting them talking about peace without it. But the reality is at hand. Peace will move forward. Whether people are saying the peace has collapsed or not, they will move forward without it. And now the IO will engage in convincing international community to give pressure to the government so that the government could pardon Dr. Riek and release it. Completely, the implementation of the peace will be by words. But in actual work, I don't think what will happen. Because government also is busy, on the other hand, on how to sell the agenda to the international community to know that the culprit or the perpetrator of Nasser incident is Mr. X and Y. On the other hand, IO is busy with the internal arrangement, which was alluded by the acting Secretary General of the interim body. Completely, the implementation will be illusional and will be a dream. And now we are being confronted by the year 2026, which is supposed to be the year of election. So the questions within the next 2 months will be about elections. And nobody knows the SPLM could, within the next 3 to 4 months, could launch their campaign again, like what they did last year. They could launch their campaign and forget everything. So international community, to conclude with, might have recognized that South Sudan deserves election. Whether bad or good, there is no bad election. Citizens must be allowed to exercise their political rights. And for them exercising their political rights, at least whatever outcome that will come out of that election will show some kind of moving forward rather than fighting over nothing. We told several IO supporters 3 years ago that we better go for election. If you dispute or reject the results, then you fight. Then that will mean that you are fighting for something. Then fighting over nothing. Now people are fighting over nothing. No election, no power, no money, no anything. Then they are busy fighting. So completely, international community has done a great job. I commend them for that. South Sudan should move forward. We cannot be roasted because of only 2 people or 3 men. We have suffered enough and we have struggled for long. It is time to ignore whoever thinks that South Sudan is him or he is South Sudan. We are all South Sudanese. We have equal rights despite the positions that we are holding. So this is what I can add. Otherwise, that is the beginning of what was seen to be impossible. Be blessed.
Thank you, Majok. You're absolutely right, because South Sudan cannot be all hostage for all these years. So why is it, if the peace agreement is in a work between Riek and President Kiir, so why are you holding the people of South Sudan hostage? And this is one of the things that I see some of the international community, they are calling for release of Riek Machar from house arrest and other political detainees, which is they don't see what the root cause of why they are getting arrested. They don't see how many people have been killed in Nassau. And this is the thing that in national community, some of them, they don't see the issues of South Sudan a way that they can prolong the suffering while they keep these leaders in the power. So why don't you see, if this is the problem, why don't you support the people of South Sudan, let these leaders not be in the power, because the longer they are in the power, the more suffering of the people. Absolutely, you are right. Thank you, Majok. Let me move to Charles. Charles, welcome. Charles, are you there?
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Majak, thank you very much. The South Sudan Eagle Media, which is going to be changed very soon to Eagle Media Production, which is going to happen in a few days. I would like to thank you as the head of the production for always bringing us the breaking news and always guiding us how to move forward. Brother Majok, the Rock, Beast, and the Prophet, plus all the listeners. I myself am one of the listeners for the Eagle Media for good news to hear that the AU and the IGAD, they are pushing to. If we go back 1 month from today, when the war broke out in Sudan, April 15th, between the Sudan Army and the Rapid Support Forces, all the Western world, they start closing their embassies and they start evacuating their personnel. But for a person like Madini Majak with Eagle Media, the people that are in the news all the time, they knew there was something bigger coming. Because the intelligence was telling all this Western world that there is a bigger war coming and it's not going to end in a day or two. It's not the same thing happened in Juba. If you guys go back, in Juba, they evacuate only the citizens, either from UK, Canada, Europe, when 2013 happened. But they did not close their embassies. So now when AU coming says, you know what, we need to move on. If Riek is not there, the peace has to continue. So my point is, there is a signal there. So there is something. So always, that's why I brought up the 2013 and the incident of Sudan 2 years ago. That the AU, the IGAD, the Western world, they always know what is coming up. So I want to thank the Eagle Media headed by Madini Majak. This is a very good information for all of us. So guys, Riek is under house arrest or in the Blue House. I believe the government is to the ground that let's move on. People have been suffering for all these years under one name or two names. It's time for people now to move on. The people that started the Anyanya 1, they're not here with us. Anyanya 2, they're not here with us. The SPLM, they're not even with us. Because John Garang is not with us. But people move on. So I believe, Brother Medit and the Eagle Media plus all your supporters, that it's time for South Sudan to move on. Riek Machar cannot dictate how we can live our life. South Sudan is bigger than anybody. And I believe now the government is start to stood their ground. That it's time for us to move on. Let's see. Salva Kiir tomorrow is going to be going, and people are going to come after him. So I'm not going to prolong my contribution. I just want to thank the Google Media headed by Majak, Majok, Rak, plus the rest, you know. But I always come and give my little bit contribution. So guys, let's come here, support the government, support the people of South Sudan. Says, you know what? The young people say, oh, we need the change. Okay, the change is now. If the people of Nuer or the IO, especially for me, I wanted to focus about IO because Nuer are people like myself. I come from a Dinka. If the IO want to bring another leader, okay, bring another leader, and then people move on. We don't want people dying. We don't want people suffering. We want people to move on. So thank you, Brother Madid, with your team. Let's move on. And this is what we need to be telling anybody. If you are coming from Europe, if you are coming from the America, if you are coming from the Arab world, or you're coming from Australia, hey, let's move on. Our leaders need to take time off and let the young people lead. If our brothers from Nuer think, and IO think that we need to give the young people time, it's time now. And then the SPLM will bring their young people and the rest of the parties. It's time for us to move on. The time for appeasing people that, oh, let's make a peace, has to stop. It's time for all of us to move on. Somebody that's going to compromise with us. It's not somebody going to bring his wife, his family. No, those times are over. So thank you, Brother Madid, with your team and the team of the Eagle Media always there for us. This is a few minutes that I can share with you. It's time for us to move on. Trump says America first. So let's say South Sudan first. If you think South Sudan is first, come join us. You know, thank you.
Thank you, Brother Charles. Appreciate it. Thank you. You are absolutely right. So we need to move on. We need a change to happen in South Sudan. So thank you. B, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Brother Madid. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Greeting to you, Majuk, Barak, Charles, Prophets, and those who are listening in the audience. Yeah, the topic is analysis of AU and IGAD pushes peace without Riek Machar. In my perspective, the AU and the IGAD, they have not forgotten about Riek Machar and the rest that are in detention with them. But in the first look of things, the peace seemed to be collapsed. So the first thing we have to do is to actually ensure that the peace is not collapsed. And then after both parties come back to the table, then they will negotiate about the absentees, those who are not on the table with them, those who are arrested. That's when they will start negotiating about them, talk about them. They have not forgotten about them. Because if you look the way the government actually establishes things, it looks like the agreement is dead because Jonglei state was given to Sawa. Now the government has taken it and give it and appoint the governor, who is SPLM. Same thing to Upper Nile state was for IO. Now the government have taken it, and the governor there is SPLM. I don't know about Western Equatoria. If the governor there is the SPLM or different party.
Yeah, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, shukran, brother.
Looks like all under the SPLM IG, which is the government. So if you look at that, then there's no way you can talk about Riek Machar without the peace. Because rescuing peace first will actually bring back everything that when missing or fall apart with the clutches of Nasser. So I think that is the diplomatic approach. They have not forgotten about those who are detained, and also anybody that was part of the peace agreement will actually be brought back after the parties acknowledge that they are now going to implement the peace. But before, things were actually hanging in the balance. You don't know whether the peace is still there, only the one party is talking. Things are removed from the Sawa, they didn't say anything. SPLM are being replaced, many people are joining SPLM, IG, the soldiers, and the politicians. So you cannot come as a grantor of the peace and talk about what is missing before you even make sure that the peace itself is alive or is there. So in my view, those of Riek Machar and everything else, those in detention and the position that were lost to IG will come after the both parties acknowledge that the peace is there.
Mm.
So I think that was the perspective the AU and IGAD were coming from. So if they come and say we want Riek Machar released, to do what? If there is no peace, why would they ask for? And they don't even know whether the government wanted to go back to peace, because the government can continue and bring peace and make the country peaceful without all the other opposition, remove everybody from a different positions, and then continue. And that's exactly how the things look like. They don't need all the other parties to rule. But they were looking for those parties in order to implement the agreement. And after elections, then whoever that wins, whether the SPLM IG or any other party, then they can form the government with only their members. Mm. But now the government of national unity is what the IGAD want to serve first. And then after they served it, then they will talk about what went wrong and what went missing. That's how I look at it, and I will stop there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother B. Before I give a chance to Kennedy Ding, let me give this chance to one of my guests in the studio. Let me welcome, let me give you this chance to weigh in on the topic, and I will go back to the clubhouse. Welcome. And also, Ustaz Rajaman is welcome, and welcome, Angelo. تفضل يا
Okay, shukran, Comrade Madid, and all the viewers that are watching in US, in Australia, and around the globe on Lagos State Media. And I see brother, he left before a few minutes ago, who is living with us in Australia here. I guess you are in US, because...
It's Isaac. It's Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac Tiang Polai.
Greetings to you.
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
Clubhouse. He's listening to you now.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Isaac. It's a long time.
Yeah, long time indeed.
Yeah, it's good to see you. المهم ان شاء الله الناس كويسين والاسره كويسين. انا طبعا يا جماعه جنوبيين اصلا وبالاخص بمثل في مجموعه بدايينو ايو. انا ما اعرف ليه بس يعني قضايا بتاعت especially اهل النوير بشوف انه Riek Machar is the only leader among themselves. When we have so brilliant young men and young women within the Nuer community, we have so many of them, people that we respect. ناس اصلا وطنيين، ناس يعني وطنيين. ولسه يعني في تجربات كثيرة. There are a lot of things that happening, a lot of events happening in the end of Riek Machar, and all of them end up in failure. And still they insist in Riek Machar they are leader. I don't know why. We have a lot of events. Khartoum peace agreement, it failed. Riek came back with the SPLM, and so many things. كله ما Riek pretending that is fighting for democracy. It ended up بيقتل في ناس المساكين في النوير. لأن طرف تاني Riek Machar مشى عداء ولا مشى to attack, they will retaliate. And when they retaliate, Nuer are the victim paying the price. And it's still, our Nuer community, they still insist following Riek Machar. أنا بس داير أخد نقطة بسيط لأنه أنا ما بطول. أنت عارف مثقفين والمتعلمين within IO بالتحديد الخطأ اللي عمله Riek Machar لما الناس وقفوا معاه، لما جا وصل جوبا جا قلب ايو بقى فاميلي انتربرايز، ومن هناك اسفل ايو انشق على 3 مجموعات و 4 مجموعات. مجموعه بتاع كينغوانغ، مجموعه بتاع واد and you name it. الناس اللي دخلوا جوبا معاه ذاته جا انشقوا زي ناس سي دي ار كونترول هو كان the current governor of Nile. So الفشل الاداري بتاع رياك مachar, my family members or brothers and sisters within other side of the community should learn that Zol Aslan Mabo Daimha. Well, Masala Batar community, Riek Jai Mundu, they are not on Riek Machar. They should learn this. Lanu afa haja Riek Amalu, Majab Karasa, le Mutaba Wujafi. Because what I know so far, my brother, the young person, like one of our generation, and he was in the country West. He was in the US, Minister of Port Camp. وكان لقى فرصة بقى فيه إمكانيات بدل ما يعمل مستشفيات ويعمل مدارس بقروج البصير اللي لماو to build his community بالعكس مش عمل شنو. He wanted to arm the young people who are not even educated, those who don't even know القواعد بتاع الحرب ذاته ناس بيحاربوا كيف. انت شايف صور البشر، انت لما قتلت زول تجور تهد لشنو تاني وتصور كمان بالفيديو. So دي الحالة أنا شخصيا sometimes أنا بستغرب إنه في الجيل بتاعنا ذاته في ناس بيفكروا أبشع من الجيل اللي قدامنا اللي كنا فاكرين إنه فعلا they are missing out on the development of technology. What's happening in the world nowadays? أو let's say على من معاصر اللي عايش فيه. فأنا شخصيا بقول إنه حالنا في النوير ما يتمسكوا برياك مachar كأنه he is the only savior بتاع community. لأنه في politician كثير. What looked at talent, which is going to be the last one, there is no politics that will be the whole community political party. يعني ما ممكن community كله يكون في حزب معين، حزب واحد، لانه اذا حصل اي كارثه community ذاك بيتضرر. النقطه الاخيره، الاحداث اللي كانت حصلت في الناصر دي بقول يعني بذكرني مثل بتاع نيجيريا، بقول لما الفيل يسارع مع الفار وفي لما win, if that victory is celebrated, that victory will be meaningless because ما قاعد يسارع مع إيزو. فيل بطوله ده لما يسارع مع الفار وفيل طبعا of course he will win, and then the field starts celebrating, the elephant starts celebrating that he win the victory, then that victory will be meaningless. ده مثل بتاع حالنا ايبو في نيجيريا. الهجوم حصل في الناصر، يعني منطقه يعني معزول، وجيش اللي كان قاعد هناك اصلا قاعدين كانوا فاكرين انه قاعدين في وسط حالهم، قاعدين في وسط الكوميونتي بتاعهم، والكوميونتي كله يتقلب وبقى قعدوا and people were celebrating on social media. انا بشوف كانوا ده celebration بتاع victory بين فيل وفار، لانه there's no victory in such a way. There's no victory in such a way. فانا بدي بناشد حالنا في especially المثقفين اللي فيها مثقف في النوير community, they should at least sit down and think twice. Riek Machar is not the only one that will lead them. والله في النوير في مثقفين في النوير، في سياسيين في النوير community. إذا if they give them chance, even the other South Sudanese will support them. But ما كل زول واحد more than 30-40 years، ما كل زول واحد. سياسات إذا فشل من هنا فشل، شوف لك زول تاني. فأنا داير أقول إنه the good thing now, communities begin to learn that اللبس اللي بيعملوا إنه مش اللي بين دينكو ونوير مش عارف. أنا متأكد if I'm not wrong أنت من Lagos State. أنا من شمال برغزال أقصي حدودي هناك مع بقارة ومسيرية ورزيقات. شنو خلينا نمشي لما نوير في منطقة بتاعي بعيدة. فعلا في مشاكلات في بتاع روا البناء بأبقار والمس. ده أصل ده جاد أصلا موجود. حتى بين Lagos State، بين communities Lagos State is there، بين communities بتاع واراب is there. نحن بس ياو ما عندنا حاجات زي دي. لكن other communities they have كلاشات في مال توج ومال جراز بتاع أبقار grazing land. There is differences. But ده ما فأنا بقول شنو إنه الدعايات الكاذبة اللي بقول إنه في مثل بين نوير ودينكا there's nothing because Dinka community or Jain community never one day think about نوير enemies بتاعهم. فأنا بقول الناس اللي قاعدين في وest زي الناس اللي بيشجعوا فوضى وبيشجعوا حرب بين these communities, they are not going to win, and I don't think Dinka will one day accept that or term any community within South Sudan as their enemies. فأنا بس ما داير أطول، دي كده داير أشوف إنه أضيف صوتي لتعليلاتكم. لكن أنا متأكد آيو لما قاعد في جوبا وعين رئيس انتقالي، إذا نوير ولا members آيو ما قبلوا then they are just supporting Riek Machar blindly. Riek Machar is not going to go back to the politics again. It's too late for them. فأنا بقول شكرا. ده بس الشيء اللي كنت داير أقوله. It's too late for Riek Machar, for members IO now to continue because Riek Machar now is being termed as somebody who's going to be faced by court of law, and if court of law approve that then محل بتوع نهاية بتوع maybe يكون سجن. من عارف. You never know. لكن بس نحن أصلاً we ناس جنوبيين they are just silent because المجرم واصلاً بريء لا لما يثبت إدانته. عشان كده الناس قاعدين لسه they are waiting for investigation. But I will thank you for the opportunity that you gave me today, and hopefully I will be going down and start watching for the guests.
Thank you so much, brother Prabhaya, for coming, and you are truly right. You know, this is the problem we are in because our people, they miss the politics with the tribe, and this is the problem. It's really, I'm glad that you come and thank you. Say hello to everyone. Thank you for coming, my brother. Yeah, you mute.
Yeah, I'm wrestling with them. So
Yeah, yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
because today is my day off. We're wrestling.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So take
خلاص
care.
كويس شكرا
Yeah, sure, Yimbala. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, thank you. Let me go back. Kennedy Ding, how are you? Welcome.
Mr. Lord King Life, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Prophet Loro Lex, welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kennedy being what? Welcome. I'm around, man. How are you? I'm doing good, my brother. Nice to hear from you, my brother. Indeed, God bless you. Fuck individual, I want to thank each and every legacy media. Led by the Medina Jagan, my brother Rock, Nog Old Isaac, and my brother Majuk Pan Africa. Nice to see you, my beautiful, my handsome brother. I love your analysis. Indeed, brother Big, the more the Kadai Mawa, the more na Piai, Kenya Pier. Angela in the mood, Gavera Jola Red Cap, the mood. My brother, I say hi to you. Salam alaikum, full sense death. Mr. Tontat, he got that baby courier. White Army, he got that the mood, Randy Mabur, Ling Majak. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so glad. Ling Majak, the mood of Kai, Wama to Jamaican. The mood. Ugala Wama, and you bent your challenge, the mood, give me a break, Jamaican. Today, I'm going to go to topic. What topic you say? Topic say, analysis of Africa, that AU, which is African Union, and IGAD, pushing the peace without the Riek Machar. I always say a lot, this. The peace should be there, but people don't need a peace. People say, peace is only Kiir Mayadis and a council of elders. A peace can go along. If people need a peace, peace should come. Nobody stop the peace. But if you don't want a peace, Kiir Mayadi will take a more years until they die with the public peace. And when I talk to these people, these are claimants government arguments. For those claim publicists, they always come with so paranoid. And I don't allow them because I have no time to know what they say. I need a peace. But when you look at who need a peace, it is not young guys or elderly peace, it's not Kiir or Riek Machar. We all need a peace. Oh, my brother Thomas Tirolo, with these others, power struggling, annoyed to danger every day. Sometimes when I look at them, I say, what do they need to talk about it? And when I try to go there and I said, you know what? They say, no, you are not. You are not good, you are crazy. You gotta go. I said, where do I have to go? Same like what they say to Garang must go. The same, this animal, this element of people say Garang must go. Garang what? Yes, that is my job. I want to give you a nickname. You are called a lot of things like CNN. And I want to thank all members of the legacy media to be more official and even Brother Rock, if you've been away from Madrid, he has been stood in until you come and get him. Because we are busy. And I'm right here. Peace is needed to be given to people in South Sudan. And that's why we have so many others. I as individuals, all in Western country, which is Tamaini, which is so-called others. It save you a rock and it save you Medina Majak and I and Total. Another fuck individual, listen to us. We need a peace. Why the peace cannot come? Who prevent the peace never come to our home? And who is good here to kill people in South Sudan and say, you know what, I don't want to go to get a peace. Who is of you know they bring the peace? Medina Majak, sometimes I always give you a credibility and this is my appreciation challenge. And all others spoke individual political analysis. We need to sit down and I need to come to make sure who complain that there are no peace. The peace cannot be brought to America. The peace is brought by ourselves within Africa and within us. The leader was African, a young man, like you, like me, like Doro, like others. That's what all about I'm talking about. If not, you're complaining though. It is not a criminal complaint. It is New Year. So annoyed. It means every day you are the one doing it. I would like to thank head of the state, Salva Kiir. I want to thank him, my great leader. He did is so amazing and fantastic. For whatever he did, he's a man for another day. You know I don't talk a lot. Madam Majak, I will stop here. I want to thank head of the state, Salva Kiir and our politicians, our comrades, our jammers, fellow comrades, another population of the Republic of Sudan in Western country, alongside wherever you are. God shall be with you. Peace will come. Whoever declares the peace, that is somebody I don't want to tell. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
You know, I don't talk a lot.
Yeah, I know you don't talk a lot. Yeah, you are really nailing, my brother. Thank you so much, Yakaridi Ding. You are always there. Thank you.
Thank you, my pleasure to you, brother.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let me give this chance to Angelo. Angelo, welcome.
Thank you, Brother Medit, and South Sudan Eagle Media for this wonderful topic of tonight. The analysis of AU and IGAD, which is peace without Dr. Riek Machar. Brother Medit, this analysis, people will analyze it differently. Other people will analyze it with
officials in upper
emotional attached to it, and some people will just analyze it purely without an emotional attachment. We know where Dr. Riek Machar, when he was arrested first time, there was an envoy from African Union that came to Juba to urge the government to release Dr. Riek Machar. And even Ral Odinga also came, and we denied to see Dr. Riek Machar. And I always say that African Union, they have a tendency of rushing to things without understanding the reason, actually, the main reason. African Union, sometimes I look at them like the clubhouse people who just get news and then get emotional without understanding the reality. But I'm glad at this point, actually, the African Union has come to understand that Dr. Riek Machar was arrested based on criminal case. It was not a political case. And that's why we did not talk about Dr. Riek Machar in this case, because if criminal case is limited to one country and it's not African Union thing. Of course, if it is political case, then they can intervene and try to bring two parties together. So, to me, I believe that the reason why they did not push for Dr. Riek Machar. Second, they have found that actually, they did not know this in Juba, but actually they know it before they moved. They came to Juba. They know that there is an interim person that has been appointed by the party to the IO. And we all know Ajama peace, the RXS was not signed between the government and the Riek Machar. The peace agreement was signed between the government and the IO and the other parties. And even the peace agreement said if the chairman of a particular party or the position is vacant for any reason means it could be death, it could be arrested, it could be any reason, then the party will sit down and make a replacement. And this is what happened with IO. And the African Union understood this very well. And that's why there is no point, or they are not in that position to push for Dr. Riek Machar release. After all, Dr. Riek Machar was arrested in South Africa for 2 years by IGAD and African Union. So there is some condition attached to this peace agreement when Dr. Riek Machar came to Juba. If Riek Machar caused any arrest or any anything that will deter the peace agreement, then of course he will be arrested. And they know this very well. And I think that's why they did not even talk about Dr. Riek Machar. All they care is for the peace agreement to proceed, whether with Riek Machar or without Riek Machar, because Riek Machar is not the IO. Riek Machar is Dr. Riek Machar, and IO is a party. Another point that I want to make is the gentleman said, who talked earlier, he said that these people came to make sure that the peace agreement is still there. Because peace agreement is has collapsed, because the position that we hold by the SPLM-IO, the SPLM-IG now is appointing people. And Ajama, if you guys listen to Martin Lamoro press conference and Michael McQuillan, there will be another roadmap. Another roadmap is coming, and I believe in that roadmap. Any county or any state that has a problem, I think the IG will not allow the IO to be appointed in that state or that county anymore. And that's why he was able to appoint CDR in the Malakal or in Upper Nile and some counties, and also Jonglei State. And for sure, sooner or later, we will see IG appointing someone in Western Equatoria. I believe for now, maybe, Western Barcatal will remain for IO, because it's kind of quiet now. We don't have any problem now yet. But as soon as anything come up, of course, the IG will take over. Because IG is a ruling party. He has a major stake in this peace agreement. And that means they are responsible for the citizen of the country. They are responsible to make the country stay in order. And anything that will disturb the peace of this country, the IG actually will not allow it, because they are the ruling party, meaning they have the major stake in this peace agreement. I think those are the couple of points that I want to add, Brother Medit, and I will stop here because I see the line is long. If I need to add anything later, I will come back.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Angelo. Thank you. Let me give this chance to Ustaz Rajab Manis. Welcome.
Yes, thank you, Chief Madid, for the opportunity, and greetings to you all. My brother Majok, it has been a while. I keep following some of the discussions with you, the interviewing people, but we haven't had the opportunity to share the platform. Yes, thank you for all of you who have made your submissions, and greetings to you in the audience.
Brother Rajab, can I stop you just 1 second? I'm sorry to do that, and I'm sorry, Madid. I just want to answer that somebody say that the AU did not refuse to meet the interim chairman of the IO, but that's not true. In the meeting today, when President Kiir met with the AU, the interim chairman, Stephen Parkwall, was there. That's what I want to correct. Thank you.
Yes,
you disgracing the nation.
JJ, please, JJ, close your mic, please. When your turn comes, you will come.
Okay. Well, as we discuss these national issues, let us focus on the bigger picture of a better South Sudan for all of us, and let's not make it personally, because that would only elicit emotions, and we may not be very objective in the conversations. Now, the topic is analysis of AU, IGAD, visit to South Sudan, of course, and a push for peace without Riek Machar. Now, first, if you want to know the first sign of a failure to support peace in South Sudan is when someone tells you that at this point as we speak, it's when someone suggests that we continue with the implementation of the RRCs, or that we return to the implementation of the RRCs. If anyone talks to you and mentions the RRCs as the framework for peace, forget about peace in South Sudan as we speak. The RRCs is not only dead, its dead body is actually decomposing, and it is stinking now. That is where the agreement is. There is no RRCs under implementation, and I agree with Majok in his observations in that regard. What is happening, if I can mention briefly the status of the RRCs, after 6-7 years of implementation, this agreement, first of all, was meant to deliver peace. I do not have a copy here, but if you get time, you go read chapter 1, the first page 1 and 2, and you will see clearly what the agreement was meant to achieve. The first mandate of the government in the agreement was to restore what they call permanent and sustainable peace. Yes, permanent and sustainable peace in South Sudan. That's the first simple mandate that was signed in the agreement on the 12th of September 2018. It is now 7 years of implementation, and of course, this agreement was meant to be implemented within 44 months. 44 months. That means 8 months of pre-transitional period and 36 months of the transitional period. As we speak now, we are hitting maybe, is it 78 or going to 79 months? And that primary mandate of permanent and sustainable peace and security has not been achieved. And so that is enough to tell us that the agreement is not delivering peace. Now, as it stands at this point as we speak, the executive created by the agreement is now all being dismantled, forcefully and almost successfully being dismantled. You are aware of the changes in the positions being reshuffled away from some of the parties, not only the IO, but also SOA, and they lost Jongole, governorship and all of that. This is dismantling of the executive. Positions in the national level, the ministerial positions have been taken away or swapped, and these guys continue to go for more. The executive and the mechanisms are almost completely dysfunctional as we speak. It is not clear when last the cabinet sat for a meeting to discuss on South Sudanese matters. The security mechanisms, almost all of them, are dysfunctional now. They no longer effectively work. Actually from RGM, the highest oversight mechanism, and then you go to the rest of the mechanisms. They are not, they are out of function as we speak now. And these are not signs of progress. These institutions were built and activated and supported, and they did quite commendable work in trying to make the agreement work. They are now rendered dysfunctional. RGMEC was supposed to hold a meeting over a month ago. This is not happening now because they are even not sure how to proceed with the issues of membership and all that, the contradictions. And then the IO itself is now being effectively dismantled throughout the country. Under pressure, most of them are being forced to publicly issue statements denouncing the IO. This has happened in several states, and those who have not have also been threatened and all that. Now, in addition to that, you are aware of the several of their politicians who have been arrested and detained, including the chair and several ministers and also security officers. The parliament has been sent into what you may call an indefinite recess. I think it was since October or so. It's almost half the year the parliament is not in session. So the legislature is somehow dead as we speak now. And then you move on to what is happening now is another repeat of the 2016 formula, where IO, the leadership of the IO was purposely fragmented and replaced under the management of the IG itself. So it is the IG. But for those of you who are in the US, it is like Trump organizing the Democratic Party, organizing the chair for the Democratic Party and all of that. So if you are serious, you would see that this is a joke. It's a very serious joke, but that's exactly what we did in 2016, and we did not make progress with that, and we went back to look for Riek to get back to this process. Now, where are we with what do we say? First of all, this new interim chair is watching his party being dismantled throughout the country. I don't understand how this is going to work when they are going to reconstitute the party membership in the rest of the country. But this is exactly where we are. If you look at the security arrangements, it is also literally dead. There is a renewed violence. This violence was supposed to have stopped within 72 hours of the signing of the security arrangements. Now we are all the way here. The violence has continued. In fact, it was even since 2017. 2017, December, when the agreement on cessation of hostilities was signed. That was when the violence was supposed to stop. But we are still now in renewed violence, even more serious violence than the ones we saw before. These ones now include the use of jet fighters and all of that, and choppers. And you can also see the destruction, systematic destruction of the facilities of the security arrangements. And this includes the cantonment sites and the unified training centers. Those are institutions of the agreement. Those are facilities of the agreement. And they are now being dismantled. In fact, they are being bombed by parties to the peace agreement. That's when you would actually say the agreement is not only dead, but it is now decomposing. The code is now decomposing. The problem you may have with this is that you get to dismantle these institutions forcefully, and the forces that were already contained, they were under command, and they were being managed, are being dispersed. So you throw them out. It's like breaking a beehive, and then you have the bees scattered there, and you have to deal with the bees. It is not an easy situation for South Sudan. That is building up a security situation that you have to deal with in a manner that I don't know how it is going to work. So that is where we are with the security arrangement. So when we are in a renewed violence, we are destroying the facilities of the agreement. There is no agreement to talk about. Now, the visit of the AU, joint visit of the AU and IGAD, is a testament to us that the highly proclaimed African solutions to African problems is a joke. We expected, I personally would expect the African Union and IGAD. In fact, there is respect for them from the other international partners because they believe in the principle of subsidiarity, that problems are solved by the institutions closest to the problem. And in that regard, the regional authority is IGAD, closest to South Sudan, and then next to IGAD is the AU. And so it's the AU on behalf of the continent to engage with the Security Council on matters relating to Africa, including the situation in South Sudan. So the Security Council, as for now, for example, working on the new mandate of UNMISS, and also looking at, in fact, they have been struggling, and that explains why they did an extension of the mandate of UNMISS for 9 days. To give them time now to look at what the new mandate would look like considering the current situation. The mandate of UNMISS initially was to support implementation of the agreement, protect civilians, and so forth. But also within the context of the support to implementation of the agreement, they were supposed to support government programs. That includes development of a permanent constitution, support to elections, and those kind of things. So as it stands now, you cannot easily talk about elections. There is even no discussion about constitution making. There is only fighting that is going on and political confusion without clarity as to where South Sudan is heading. So that visit of the African Union that was supposed to provide the compass for everyone else to follow has fallen short of its objectivity. How? One, they have failed to speak to the issues to guarantee that actually this violence would stop. Because it is the violence that continues to plunge the country more into crisis. And so failing to have anything clear on the continuous violence in the country is a terrible failure from the African Union, because we are actually technically attacked, they are technically back to war. And so they have failed to speak to that. They have also failed to speak to really the matters of clarity on how people proceed with now this situation of a messy political structures of the peace agreement. The initial idea of the agreement, the spirit and letter of the agreement was that the parties would work together in an inclusive manner. First of all, to promote national unity and deliver peace that South Sudanese desperately need. And on that note, the names of the parties, in way of correcting the mistakes of 2016, where one party determined and reconstructed the other party, the names of these parties, I mean, individuals in these parties were put in the agreement, Riek and Kiir himself, to ensure that they delivered the agreement without repeating those mistakes. Now, this is not the case at the moment, but there is no problem with moving forward with the peace implementation, as we think that we can move forward with the peace implementation. The biggest problem is that there is no clear, direction on how we are moving forward with this peace implementation. If you can see how things are happening, there is no clarity on how we're moving forward with the peace implementation. We seem to simply be stuck, and we talk about implementing the agreement. We are not implementing the agreement. Now, when we were not implementing the agreement before this crisis and before this confusion, where the institutions of the agreement have been almost literally dismantled. We are now in this situation that is worse than how it was, and the agreement definitely will not move in this case. And so IGAD, our IGAD and the AU should have provided a clear direction. And if they wanted, as they said, people should engage in dialogue, they should have offered to mediate the dialogue or facilitate the dialogue. They just jetted in, they jetted out and told us, you dialogue. We are fighting, and you tell us, you dialogue. It's a joke, to say the least. It is like, we are boxing ourselves at each other. You are supposed to come in and give us some help in the mediation, the dialogue. Then you walk out and say, you dialogue by yourselves. This is not going to easily work. And so we have a situation where there is no RRCs at the moment, and there is no clarity on how we move. In fact, what was working out was a succession plan, and I think that has kind of stalled as well, because it has now taken long. They have not been able to proceed with this process to install Parkwell and continue to install him as the first vice president and move on. It is also becoming increasingly challenging for them to actually take Riek Machar to court. I guess it is going to have a lot of challenges. But let us, I would say, define this issue not in terms of Riek and the IO. Let us define it in terms of the South Sudan we want, and whether we are on course to attain that South Sudan we want. And outside this, we have weakened ourselves politically, diplomatically, economically, and we have weakened ourselves militarily. And we are exposed to serious external threats. And one of the source of these external threats is Sudan. What those guys are doing to themselves in Sudan will possibly affect us and suck us into regional political and security dynamics that may not be good for us as a country. And so we need, if we are very serious, we need to reconstitute ourselves very quickly, politically, militarily, and financially, to be able to resist any of these potential external threats that we face. Otherwise, the situation is not looking good for South Sudan at all, as it stands now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ustaz Rajab. Before I give the chance to others, as you can see now, Rajab is regarding about the military. You talk a little bit about the military, which is a crucial problem right now. Have you seen the military has been divided, IO and SSPDF, and this is where the problem coming in. Because if the government now, the position of the government right now, what they're doing, they say that they want one army, which is SSPDF, and the rest of organized forces have to be integrated into SSPDF, including IO forces. And this is where the problem coming in. And you have seen some of the IO, they are now, you can see every day, there are some of the forces that join SSPDF, and some of the IO are fighting with the SSPDF. And you have seen some of the incident, some of the forces of IO ambush some of the civilian truck between Juba and Inter-Governmental Road, and they kill one of the Somalian guy, and they robbed, like they hijacked the truck, and they looted some of the goods in that, and they even killed that Somalian guy and burned the truck. So all of these are going on. The insecurity is really is getting bad every day. And in order to do this, what do you think about the way that The unified forces now is one of the thing. The security arrangement is really it will not line up with the RC's peace agreement, as we have seen that they are doing another way. By you have to, whether you want to join in, put down your gun. It's telling this to the SPLI, put down your gun and then join one of the training camp in the area. That's the message. That's the SPDF telling the IO. So all of this, and if you are resist, you will fall the resist from the SPDF. And this is what you see the part of the Upper Nile area, and you see it's going on around the country. So what will be the solution here? So you are seeing that the government is moving forward with the peace parliamentation, as they are saying, with this interim chairman, Stephen Pal, with his team. And Stephen Pal is facing a lot of resistance within the SPLIO party or a movement. And it's really, I don't know how they will do this to parliament. This peace agreement is, you have said the peace already collapsed, which we have seen is really, but they are saying that peace is not collapsed. And the AU and IGAD are now coming in to save that peace. How they can save it, I don't know. So we will see for the few weeks and days to come. So the military things you mentioned, we need to do fast. And the military, as you see, the challenge is coming from the northern Sudan. We have seen today or yesterday too, you see for Sudan, there's a bombardment go on there, and one of the a gas station, the gas where the Ford South Sudanese oil to the Port Sudan, to the Red Sea, has been bombed. Now it's on fire. So those things are the challenges. They are very challenging. So I don't know how they. So a brief talk a little bit about the military things, because the unification of forces is one of the things that will bring this insecurity under the control, because we have so many commander-in-chief. So instead of one commander-in-chief, and this is what the SSPD now is clear that we need one of commander-in-chief. So try a little bit, and then I will move the line. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You know, you are right. The SPLMIO, you know, maybe, okay, they are at war, actually, they are fighting. And you referenced the ambush along the road. I am going to personally expect more ambushes, because, as I said, the forces that were there, that were fighting themselves, were brought under control right from the time the agreement was signed. If there was any group that worked hard to address the issues of the agreement, I mean, to implement the agreement, it was the security forces. When the agreement was signed right away, few days after that, the politicians were still confused among themselves, arguing over things and how to proceed. The military started working together very effectively, because they follow command, they follow seniority, and they follow the rules. Very, very, very effective. In fact, that time the agreement was signed, Riek was the chief of defense forces. And Riek and James Kwang, General James Kwang, James Kwang represented the head of the IO forces in Juba at that time. They appeared deep in the middle of some bush together, visiting forces and talking to the forces that peace has come, and now we have to work together. There are plans to now organize you and take you for training and all that. They did commendable work in containing the forces throughout, in the cantonment sites and the training centers. Those forces did not actually fight among themselves. Some of those attacks on the training, I mean, on those facilities, the cantonment sites and the training centers, were politically motivated. So they did a commendable job. And I was engaging with them, and they were saying, the mechanisms were saying, especially from the JDP itself, that they would not manage to continue to contain the forces indefinitely. The political leaders should do some work to ensure that the forces were unified quickly and graduated. That did not happen, something that was supposed to have happened in the past 8 months. I mean, up to this time, 7 years down the line, it has not happened. The most difficult part, as I was explaining, was when these forces were all under control and command, they went and bombed them out of those facilities. Now, when you bomb them out of those facilities, where did they go? They carried their guns. They were not, actually, they did not sustain casualties in those bombardments in the training centers and cantonment sites. They ran away with their guns. Where are they going? Now, they definitely dispersed with that anger, and you would expect them to become security threat along the roads and all that. They can make the country ungovernable, actually. That's the danger we face. So now, they have been asked to put down their guns and join SSPDF camps. Which article in the agreement says that the IO forces would lay down their weapons and then join the SSPDF? The language used in chapter 2 was unification of forces, meaning that the forces of the SSPDF and the IO would be unified through a training process. And the training was meant to be largely orientation, kind of giving orientation to the forces on how to then blend together and work together, and also how they would relate with civilians and the mandate they would have. So that was the major component. So asking them to lay down the guns is not any article in the agreement. Lay down the guns and join the SSPDF. That's one. Number two, the fighting started in 2013 with the issue of laying down the guns. You may recall when they claimed that they were asked to, the Tiger group there was disarmament or so of forces in the Tiger. That was when they started shooting themselves. So you ask the soldiers, just lay down your gun and go and sit there, and you know that this is the group. The SSPDF is the one you are fighting with. They bombed you out of your facilities and you are fighting with them, and then you put down your gun and you come in strength. This will be very difficult to take for a soldier. And so we are likely to have these guys with their weapons, and they would be a security threat to the roads, and also even some of the towns and so on. So there would need to be a political solution to then address the security crisis. Actually, the security arrangements are subordinate to the political arrangements. And so if you do not manage the political arrangement, if the political arrangement falls apart, then the security arrangements will also fall apart. So that is where we are. So how do you address that? You need to address the political situation. You address the political situation in many ways. The parties could agree on how. That's where the AU was proposing dialogue. Agree on how to move forward on that. Literally, they should have gone back to the implementation. Now, if they are talking about an implementation, the implementation should have addressed that. And if Barcol holds the authority of the IO, then he is supposed to politically manage the forces, order the forces and all that. So if these things are not happening, then we have a real crisis. That is where things stand. So someone must have an authority that these people would listen to. And if it's not, then they are going to fight. And if they know that they are threatened, they are going to find ways to struggle. They are not just easily going to lay down their guns and come to join the SSPDF. So we have a problem there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Let us move to next speaker. The White Army. I think you are the next. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, White Army.
Thank you so much, Eagle Media. I thank you so much to give me some opportunity to talk about an issue
on the country, particular. أنا داير أتكلم عن الريك وداير أتكلم عن الاتفاقية. فنحن في جنوب السودان دايرين اتفاقية ونكون كنحن جنوبيين يكون لنا الجيش من واحد، والجيش من واحد منه يعمله الرئيس الدولة. وطبعا رئيس دولة يعني نحن عندنا 24 قبيلة، يعني كل قبيلة داير نفسه يكون أبناء يكون في الجيش بتاع البلد الواحد. دايرين سلام في جنوب السودان من منذ يعني من 72 حتى اليوم هذا. احنا ما استغرنا كنحن جنوبيين، نحن دايرين سلام، ما دايرين مشاكل بعضنا، ونحن نشرد قبائلنا ونجيب أجانب يجي يقتلنا، وليه ما نقعد تحت عشان نحل مشاكل بتاع جنوب السودان؟ لأن كلنا ما قادرين نحل مشاكلنا، لأن لنا قبليين في قلوبنا وكل زول بيحب قبيلته. ده حصل قراءة سياسة في البلد بتاعنا فنحن جنوبيين. عشان كده أنا جينا يوكاندين عشان يدافع صم قبائل بتاعنا، لأن صم قبائل هم ما مقتنعين بنفوسهم عشان إنه تكون في سلام. في قبائل بيقولوا نحن نعمل دومينيت للقبائل تاع جنوب السودان عشان هم يقعد أندر بيكون بتحتنا، فنحن قبيلة الكبير جنوب السودان. نحن لو ما قعدنا كنحن أبناء جنوب السودان ما بيكون في سلام. يعني ريك كان وجه جا جوا جا بيدينه أشف، الله جاي بتاعه الأخير جالس الفكير سجن في الوقت الحالي. لو كان جاب الجاي بتاعه بيكون زي الموضوع بتاع 2016 الماشي كونغو، ما بزول بيقدر يمسكها لأنه عنده الجاي بتاعه. لكن هو ما داير سلام، خلى الجاي بتاعه برا، وما كويس قال شنو جيش أبيض يرجع الوقت بتاعه أبيض. حتى الجاي بتاع ريك حتى لو ده كنترول اريا ما يخرجوا بسلاح، يخرجوا بشنو؟ بأسعار بتاعهم، وبيقول دايرين يكون إننا الجيش من واحد. إذا في حتة زي ده في كونتينمنت اريا في حركة شعبية قاعد يمشي حجم الجماعة بتاع IO في ماسكرات، هم بيحجموه ونازل بيقتلوا منه عشرات بسكت. ده منه ده سلفا الخطط بتاع سلفا هو عمل بدس يقول جنوبيين ما بعرفوا كله كنتم اريا. يعني ناس عاجي قاعد يمشي حجم الناس دل بالكنترول اريا، يكون في مشاكل الناس دل بيجري في الغابه، بيقول الناس دل بسكتوا حتى تم 4 سنة. ناس سلفا بيعرفوا انه من اثيوبيا قال الاتفاقيه ده لو مشي جوا يكون ما بزول بيعمل فلمن الاتفاقيه، ما بزول بالفلمن انه سلفا يعرف قروا الجنوب بيلعبوا مع افريكا يونيون، ما شو دول ترايكا، ما يوغندا وكينيا ودول اخرى عشان يتاخروا جنوبين بيكون في كرايسيس. حتى اليوم هذا سلفا جاب موسى في قبيله معين قاعد يعمل بومب. هو لو هو رئيس الدوله كان يجيب جيش يمشي شاكل نازل يعني ارض يعني
نسألك سؤال قبل ما ينتهي
دقيقة. خلينا نتكلم كلامين انتهى. حس سلفا كير لو سلفا كير ما داير السلام، لو كان داير السلام الموضوع بتاع الناس اللي ما بيكون ده سبب، هو داير السبب، لكن ده سبب جاء حصل، ولكن بقى سبب لسلفا كير كبير. حتى انه خطأ في راس ريك انه سيريك عمل كلام ده ماندن on the ground، ما جاي الابيض وما جاي بتاع ريك هو anything ما عندي ما داير سلام بالجنوب.
Before you even talk and blah blah blah, it is that okay, why are we there is
الشاروم بتاعك معلش الشاروم بتاعك ثاني تدنكاو الشاروم بتاعك انت تدنكاو انا المراوي الشاروم انا ما خايف منك انا ما خايف منك لو كنت نازل بخاف الناس شوف الناس اللي بخاف او ما بتجي شوف انا ما بخاف منك عشان كده انا بدي قدامك انا ما بخاف منك انا ما بخاف انا شوف انا ما بخاف منك شوف اسمعني انا ما بخاف منك انا ما بخاف منك يعني انا بيجيك انت ما بتجي انت لو راجل ما بتجي من بتاعي
يا اخوانا يا اخوانا
انا ما بخاف من الدنكاوي حتى لو 100 سنه ما بخاف منكم
انا عارف ما بخاف دنكاوي ما بخاف الحكومه
لو 100 سنه ما بخاف من الدنكاوي يعتبر
إذنك شوية كده بس عندنا نسأل سؤال قبل كان داير نقوله أو نسأل البيو في كلمة قلت كلام بتاع containment forces زمن الجيش بتاع الرياض إذا جاء ضم في الحكومة قال ده اتفاقية جاب عصايات ولكن زمن من كان في الحرب كان ماسكين العسلة دي كلمة ما كل قال أصلا لا كوما يكان بسار ده ما كل لا كوما وده حاجة معروف. If the unified forces is going to take place and the people come in with the sticks and they hide their guns, where the guns that they were fighting as a force in the opposition? That was the question. He said, okay, if you are people playing around, you hide your guns and you say that the government will come and arm you. It is impossible and something that is very realistic. So you guys, you were having a long plan and it's something different and you are the people who have distorted the movement called IO. You turn into the tribal movement. Even if you have other tribes who joined that oppositions or movement, you betrayed and you turn into be a Gabila. He's a Gabila. And it improved. During when Riek came in, the way he has appointed even within the Nuer, is also, there is division within among you guys. There are a lot of videos there. So why we can't
First of all, this guy here, what makes you even come to even talk about cantonment? Number one, White Army, Galuma Ayo, Galo White Army Mordanin. Then what is it that makes them even be involved in the affair of this nation here? Is it the White Army, you are not a political organization, you are not a political entity. Why do you even come up here?
They are militia. Okay. The militia fighting alongside.
Okay. خلينا بعد إذنك ليه؟ نحن وعيان نجينا ليه؟ نحن بنحمي مناطق بتاعنا لأن ما في حكومة
بيحمينا. ده ما الجنوبيين. أنت عم تعمل معلك عمي للجنوبيين analyze the topic up here.
topic. لا نحن دايرين لا أنتوا لا دايرين. أنا ما داير أتحدث أنا جنوبي وأنا واي عامي. خلينا نتكلم وانت ما داري حتى في المحل
اول ما معترف بحكومه جنوب عشان كده انت
لا ما بالدستور لا ما بالدستور دستور قومي
انت ما جنوبي انت
دستور مملي للسلب كير يعني
sit down there يا اخوانا some people's time is very valuable guys. Let us not just with this nonsense and garbage. My Deputy White Army, you are defending your territory. No, we are Genovian people who decide to get along. It's a GDN. What are you doing? But this room is called South Sudan Eagle Media. Tell my Dola Barakum, Dola into Gajidafao against the rest of Genovian. It's a Genovian for what? Because that is someone, Nuer Civil Defense Forces, right? The man in the Dola Barakum, that you don't want Genovian view. That's why you guys caused the crisis in conflict. In Nasser, to the point that you kill the general who controlled to what could divide Sudan control. But you guys need to give your room like this for what exactly? What are you looking for? Udemal Genobi. It doesn't make any sense. I'm the one responsible for putting him down. My own brother Madid. You don't like those kind of stuff? Like if this guy, get a little cool down there. Lad ma yiji ba then you tell him Genubi. He can talk with Genubi. Like in all white army, dapat yan white army the judge mama rupo zara di ma habu win. Okay? And this is the room of South Sudanese. Yes, we don't have problem on the virtue of being members of African Union, and you can come and have a discussion with us. But look at the militancy, you know, this is really not good. Malaysia, Brother Rock, yield the
Yeah,
mic.
it's all right. Okay, it's okay. Thank you so much. Let's move the line. I think Angelo. Angelo is. Are you there? Yeah, I think he has spoken.
Yeah, Angelo is already speaking. So Cosmo is next.
Oh, okay. Tontat.
No, Thorntad. Yeah, Thorntad. Yeah, I think it is between Thorntad and Cosmos. Thorntad, are you there?
Then Tontat is not available. Let's move on to Kunjuk. Ustaz Kunjuk, are you there?
No, Cosmos. Cosmos is next, and then Pusat.
Oh, okay. All right.
Cosmos is before me.
Oh, thank you, moderators, and thank you, Brother Madid Majak, for opening the show. I read elsewhere this morning about the document that was produced out of the meeting. I think the AU and IGAD are coming to the senses that South Sudan is a country, it's an independent country. It has its laws and goals that go against the laws of the country should be held to account just as much as they would in any other country. There was no reason for the earlier, push to Riek Machar to be released without any conditions whatsoever. And I think it was a good thing on behalf of the government to make sure that the process of justice, especially for what happened in Nasir, deserves some attention. And so it is good on their part, the AU and the IGAD leadership, to at least discourse with South Sudan without those that were directly involved in the process of the terrorist attack that happened in Nasir. So, yeah, thank you for opening that discussion. Also, I think we should remind ourselves that when we compare things, they better be of equal value. For example, the Democratic Party in the United States has been around for more than 100 years. It is legally and politically recognized, registered institution that engages in the education of the Americans who become members of that party in terms of leadership and so on. So when we want to compare that party with any party in South Sudan, whatever, they must be also recognized and registered, institutions. We do know how the SPLA IO or SPLM IO was founded back in 2015. It was out of violence, political violence, and that party was not registered. It is not legally recognized. It is not politically instituted in the country to operate on the ground in terms of the policies, of the country, in as much as also the governance philosophy of that organization. We still do not know. And so let's remember that if the IO wants to be an institutionally recognized body, that it has to follow formal processes to be recognized as such. They should register, and they should also open their platform for all South Sudanese to look into their governance philosophy as well as their policies, so that they become politically marketable by everyone. They should not rely on violence as the means by which they try to make themselves relevant. And also, not being registered also makes it difficult for any sort of responsibility to be laid on the shoulders of those who support this idea called the IO. I call it the idea because it's not instituted. So I think we are educated enough. We deserve to be treated equally with those who are educated in other parts of the world as South Sudanese, and we should not fall for substantively feral ideas such as the IO. Let's try to measure ourselves as if we are equal to any other country. For those who are members of the SPLIO, please register the organization, make it political, give it political ideology in terms of governance, give it policies, so that when we speak about it, we're speaking about a party that is recognized within the law of our country. So I just wanted to put that out there. Also, we should not forget that we have a constitution as a people. And so when we read all the divisions within the agreement, revitalized peace agreement, which has been around for almost 7 years now, let us remember we have the actual constitution of the country that governs the laws of our country. The agreement itself is not a law, it's not a product of our laws. So let's also remember that. And finally, the purpose of the agreement is in the preamble of the agreement itself. And the purpose is to make sure that it is a tool for peace, for securing peace in the country. That since Riek Machar returned to the country, the outcome of his return should have been... I am here now, Malik, after this guy. That the product of his return should have been immediately cessation of hostilities and establishment of peace throughout the country. And for our people to be educated, especially those that have taken arms, to be educated on the purpose of the agreement. The agreement was not supposed to be a tool for, pursuing employment and perpetual employment. That was not the case. If that was the case, since the SPLIO is not a party, all of us should come together. For example, South Sudan Eagles Media should just come to together with people that support it and form an agreement in terms of employment with the government, so that we have representatives in the government, because that is literally what the SPLIO is. It has become an institution for the pursuit of employment. But Yobism was not the purpose. The purpose was peace. What has happened in Nasser and across the country is a clear demonstration that that purpose has not been utilized, has not come to realization, meaning the agreement has fell and has collapsed under its own weight. This is a very important piece of information that should be recognized, especially by those that support the IO. That is where the problem is. So the problem is not reassessment of the employment strategy, which is the part of the agreement, but the actual purpose of the agreement. And it was not the government that did that. But also remember, the IO, especially those that have been ministers and so on, have been part of the governance for the last 7 years in our country. They've been part of the government. So when we talk about the government and who is not the government, let's know that the government for the last 7 years has been a constitution of those that call themselves the IO and those that call themselves the mainstream government. But the failure of the peace agreement was done by those that call themselves the IO. That's where the responsibility has to begin. Because if you don't recognize that, we will not know who actually made the agreement. Not to succeed in terms of other people's views. In my view, it has lived for so long than it should have. And my second view is that it has failed its purpose to make sure there's peace across the country. So let's calm down on the part of the jobs that are being lost and so on and so on. That's normal. Let's get back to the constitution. Let's go back to the constitutional governance, but not the peace governance that our brothers are trying to put. So I'm quite happy for what has happened with the AU, IGAD, and also the tribal countries to recognize that this country has its laws. It has its government. The government has responsibility to make sure the laws are respected and are executed if there is a violation. I'll thank you guys.
Yeah, Madida, I am now ready.
May I ask you if you are okay? Would it be possible to contact?
I was not okay. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Anyway, time is up. In case if I bypass the time that is given.
Contact your back to the Jolly Namada, yeah, and I think I'm a contact jam.
Yeah, thank you guys. I just came from South Sudan. Let my colleagues know. I've been here now for 20-something days. You know, guys, facing the system or trying to copy something. You know, Riek copied the SPLM, SPLA system with the Arab. It was done in Anyanya 1 and it failed. And then Jongarang did it again, whereby they have to have separate arms and then integration. The SPLM, SPLA was going to fail if there was no election, immediate election for separating South Sudan. Riek himself claiming to be a PhD holder and many white armies here, right? They have to know that they're trying to copy what John Garang did, negotiating in Nairobi to have a separate army. And this is why the South successfully voted. Yet now the Nuer are trying to do the same thing, which is impossible because what the Arab was doing is totally different from what they are doing. This is what they need to know. How can Southerners have separate armies? But he is claiming that he wants to have a separate army, a separate power, that is not even moving forward. Okay, the hidden agenda here is that Nuer are not telling people that are they going to vote in order the vote that would allow Nuer to choose if they should have the country, or they will join, or they will not vote. There's nothing like that. And that means we are Southerners. If there's anything wrong and we're trying to change the government, why would they try informing their own army secretly and trying to negotiate using the SPLM SPLA system, whereby we were separate Southerners trying to separate from Arabs? Because those people were not even just what gave us power to fight them was because they enslaved us. And then they use religion as a constitution. Did SPLA or the things that they are accusing use the religion to rule South Sudan? You think implement their own to rule South Sudan? Is there anything of Dinka? I don't think so. Sharing the power or the dominance, because one of them was saying that the Dinka dominate the government. How can you dominate the government of South Sudan? The government that is represented based on constitution. Every constitution, they have their own tribe that represent their own people in parliament, in any level of the government. Everybody is represented. But were we like that during when we were without? There was no religion. I mean, there's no religion as a constitution in our country. Look, Unang and Nazar is represented by pure Nuer. There's no any other son from any other tribe that is representing them. It is only the states that are mixed, and the under states that are mixed, Payam, administration, and boomers and counties are separate. You can find ethnic groups representing themselves. So our government is totally represented based on the way we want. Except the army. The army is evil. It's a death. You see that uniform looks beautiful on you, but it is a death. When you assign your life to somebody else to commend you, you are there to die. That's why you see many soldiers that are dying now. Those who are dying in big groups are the people that just joined the army to go and look for the job. Majority think that joined the army long time ago were fighting hard. If army has to be represented on the tribe, why are these? Why the other tribes are not joining? Why Nuer were majority in the army and still complaining? So there's nothing right here. People are lying over and over, and that is not going to take us to anywhere. When my comrade here one dropped that guy, the name itself, the name White Army, cannot qualify him to come and then debate or analyze things with us. He has to be ashamed himself because the name White Army is first. If let's say this was a court, would he go there? He's guilty of it because of White Army. I mean the logo and then symbol and the name on it. Coming to negotiate in the room that combines Southerners without even he was not coming to fight, and he claimed that I'm not afraid. He was coming to squeeze his point in so that we can hear it. When he was coming here, he was talking about peace. He's supposed to know that the White Army is not the solution here. Because in this room, we are not fighting. So people should know all of this, and then plus my brother here, Rajab. When Rajab was saying that the cantonments are being bombed and those guys run away with the guns. In a training field, you don't train soldiers with guns. They are trained with a stick. And then Rajab, as Mokwe was saying, the IO and the government armed them. There was no anybody else in the cantonment. The cantonment were done. All the unified force was trained, and the government armed them. You have seen the new uniforms. But when the army reached to the levels of the army, where they have went and mobilized a young man called Thor Gile in the unified force, came to Juba, gave him a mission to go and capture Nazar. Because Riek himself did not want, a disarmament of all these white armies, all of these Nuer that are getting done. Right? He secretly talked to that young man and told him to go and capture Nazar, and then he wanted to leave to go there and take his post in Nazar as a headquarters, and then continue his war. Because he was not satisfied or whatever, nobody know what he did. That's why Torquile went there and massacred our soldiers there and killed a general. Okay, the UN was quite right. And then finally the UN member, plus general and other soldiers were killed in front of UN. One pilot was wounded. An helicopter flew with blood to Juba. The worldwide have seen it. That's why the Americans first wrote it that the White Army are terrorists. The South Sudan one, they're calling for help so that US can go there and combat them. But I think that mighty SPDF is not weak to call in for another country to come and help with those terrorists. This is what they need to know. The East Africa or OAU is aware that Riek is the one who said that war in Nazar. He was the one, because majority of them were recorded. You think that South Sudan is not a country? It is a country whereby they can use the cell phone there, the Facebook, the WhatsApp. They are there doing business with the respect of law, that they can turn in any record that you have. And South Sudan must know this, right? Neighbor countries where all these electronic communication systems are operating, they have to cooperate with the government. Otherwise, they get kicked out. When I was in Juba, the network from South Africa called Wi-Fi was in Juba. They wrote a message, very small message, and that when and the country identified it, they were kicked out. Or when we kicked them out, there were the South African white people that were doing business with their Wi-Fi. You know, so South Sudan is not a country that is living. So the Nuer have a secret, and that secret agenda of lying over that they want to have their own forces, they want to have their own country rolled out. That is why you have seen all the IO members from other tribes are peacefully and voluntarily surrender in and throw away the blue uniform. But one of the speakers here was saying that they are forced, I think was Rajab, that they are forced to leave their positions and join IG. That's not true. When I was back home, when the soldiers were massacring in Nazareth,
Content, you have 2 minutes left. In those 2 minutes, can you tell us what happened here? Why the AU bypassing the call for the release of the Riek and push for the continuation of peace? Is AU finally understanding how messed up the Riek situation is and what's going on? What is your idea on this?
Yeah, that's my final point. Actually, I will come there. So when I was back home, I was in northern Barakatal where all this killing was happening in Nazareth, right? So the people that are in my own state who were IO members have their cousins that were talking to them on the phone. They were being killed, the nurse pick up the phone after they kill them, then they take backwards. And everybody brings change to be part of NER. That's why money is dying. Because they have no morale to mobilize and recruit people because NER don't understand how they are running their politics based on all this NER agenda. So everybody, you have seen, Riek was giving local, we were paying all this kind of locally. After he was saying, then everything is due to. That's why you have seen them surrendering me. Nobody is forcing them. And those who rebel with the new uniform and new guns are the ones you are seeing fighting now with the government. It is not a cantonment being bombed. It is a place where they are hiding and they start firing people. That's where government going and fighting. What about IOs? Soldiers that were in Division 3, Division 6, Division 4. Have you seen them being bombed? It is these people that have an agenda that affect and kill people. So the Union of the African that came to Juba and didn't talk about Riek understood that the pressure we have in South Sudan is from the imperialists called traitor. Norway, British and US. These are traitors. What concerns them? Why are they going in there and trying to tell us that somebody who committed genocide 3 times has to be released? So the OAU actually is made up of some
okay, guys, some of you watching here, so you guys can join us in Clubhouse. I'm going to go and close the studio.
So that we can have election. And they didn't talk about Riek. So Riek is qualified. If you release them, that would be.
So I'm going to close the studio. And some of you can, if you want to log to listen more debate in Clubhouse, you can join us there. So thank you for coming in. Before I go there, I'm going to play the video, the degree, the presidential degree last night. So and then I will close down the room.
Officials in Upper Nile State government. Relief of officials. Republican Decree number 152 for the year 2025. Relief of officials in Upper Nile State government. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 106A, 2A of the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011 as amended, read together with Section 38(1) of the Interpretation of Laws and General Provisions Act 2006, I, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, do hereby relieve officials in Upper Nile State government as hereunder. State Advisor, Honorable Jokino Fidel Nyikayo, Security Affairs. Honorable James Gatwich Jok, Advisor on Economic Affairs. State Ministers, Honorable James Monyiluk Mijok, Minister of Peace Building. Honorable James Bashar Tewe, Minister of Information. Honorable Pal Deng Kerweth, Minister of Finance Planning and Investment. Honorable Simon Road Riang, Minister of Trade and Industry. Honorable Tejok Edward Ador, Minister of Agriculture and Forestry. Honorable Ding Deng Lueth, Minister of Labor, Public Service and Human Resource Development. Honorable Bainji Ernest Apukong, Minister of Health. Honorable Peter Rekdak, Minister of General Education and Instruction. State Independent Commission. Honorable Peter Nyogo Akwin, Chairperson, Human Rights Commission. County Commissioners, Honorable Yanyo Chok Ajang, Commissioner Fashoda County. Honorable Geu Chol Yach, Commissioner Akoka County. Honorable Akoch Joel Achek, Commissioner Ren County. Honorable Chok Zain Arop, Commissioner Melut County. Honorable James Gatlak Leo, Commissioner Nasir County. Honorable Riek Gatlak, Commissioner Ulang County. Honorable Martin Monjok, Commissioner Ballet County. Honorable Peter Alberto Mabanto, Commissioner Maban County. Honorable Peter Awan Odong, Commissioner Manyo County. Honorable Dak Tuday, Commissioner Longechuk County. Issued under my hand and the seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 5th day of the month of May in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Republican Decree number 153 for the year 2025. Appointment of officials to Upper Nile State Government. State Advisors. Honorable El Taib Okich Ajak, Advisor on Security Affairs. Honorable Chuol Deb Kier, Advisor on Economic Affairs. State Ministers. Honorable Peter Gonjo Akwin, Minister of Information. Honorable Martin Monjok, Minister of Finance, Planning and Investment. Honorable Simon Book, Minister of Trade and Industry. Honorable Akuch Joel Achek, Minister of Labor, Public Service and Human Resource Development. Honorable Tejok Edward Ador, Minister of Health. Honorable Peter Alberto Mabano, Minister of Education and Instruction, State Independent Commission. Honorable Chok Zain Arop, Chairperson, Human Rights Commission. County Commissioners. Honorable Onak Okech Lual, Commissioner Fashoda County. Honorable James Chol Ador, Commissioner Akoka County. Honorable Ding Deng Lueth, Commissioner Ren County. Honorable Manyol Akoch Aguer, Commissioner Melut County. Honorable James Gatwich Jok, Commissioner Nasir County. Honorable Justin Nyal Betong, Commissioner Ulang County. Honorable John Paul Kuma, Commissioner Maban County. Honorable Zakaria Luany Amun, Commissioner Manyo County. Honorable Tulith Kong Diu, Commissioner Longechuk County. Honorable Joseph Deng Angau, Commissioner Ballet County. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 5th day of the month of May in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Republican Decree number 154 for their 2025 relief of officials in Warab State Government. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 106A, 2A of the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011, as amended, read together with Section 38(1) of the Interpretation of Laws and General Provisions Act 2006, I, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, do hereby relieve officials in Warab State as hereunder. State Advisor. Honorable Peter Matemiak, Advisor Peace and Security, SPLM Party. State Ministers. Honorable Agem Akot Madut, Minister of Cabinet Affairs, SPLM. Honorable Michael Koro Machar, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, SPLM. Honorable James Ayek Bath, Minister of Information, SPLM. Honorable Mamer Bath Mabiok, Minister of Labor, Public Service and Human Resource Development, SPLM. State Independent Commissions. Honorable Malau Madut Malau, Chairperson, Relief and Rehabilitation Commission, SPLM. Honorable Bona Mawan Yap, Member, Relief and Rehabilitation Commission, SPLM. Honorable Jan Row Riak, Deputy Chairperson, Anti-Corruption Commission, SPLM. Honorable Tokier Chiliu, Chairperson, Peace and Conflict Resolution Commission SPLM, County Commissioners. Honorable Makur Dual Ajok, Commissioner Tonj East County SPLM. Honorable Ring Deng Ading, Commissioner Tonj South County SPLM. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 5th day of the month of May in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Republican Decree number 155 for their 2025 appointment of officials to Arab State government. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 106A, 2A of the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan, 2011 as amended, I, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, do hereby appoint officials to Arab State government as hereunder. State Advisor, Honorable Mayik Agoth Mayor, Advisor Peace and Security, SPLM. State Ministers, Honorable Dr. Achwil Malay Aliap, Minister of Cabinet Affairs, SPLM. Honorable John Garang Mabior Ater, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, SPLM. Honorable Paulino Mabeny Mayom Yod, Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, SPLM. Honorable Mamer Bath Matiok, Minister of Information, SPLM. Honorable Gabriel Machol Kur, Minister of Labor, Public Service and Human Resource Development, SPLM. State Independent Commissions. Honorable James Ajek Maro Bol, Chairperson, Relief and Rehabilitation Commission, SPLM. Honorable Aluak Majok Bech, Member, Relief and Rehabilitation Commission, SPLM. Honorable Malong Akota Tem, Deputy Chairperson, Anti-Corruption Commission, SPLM. Honorable Benjamin Anyar Mabior, Chairperson, Peace and Reconciliation Commission, SPLM. County Commissioners. Honorable Ngor Dol Mangong, Commissioner Tonj East County, SPLM. Honorable John Atiak Warwien, Commissioner Tonj South County, SPLM. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 5th day of the month of May in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Republican Decree number 156 for their 2025 revocation of appointment of 2 members of Parliament in Upper Nile State Legislative Assembly. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 106A, 2A of the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011 as amended, read together with Section 38(1) of the Interpretation of Laws and General Provisions Act 2006, I, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, do hereby revoke the appointment of 2 members of Parliament in Upper Nile State Legislative Assembly as hereunder. Right Honorable Jacob Dollar Road, Speaker. Honorable Hamza Lual Aware, Member. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 5th day of the month of May in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Republican Decree number 157 for their 2025 appointment of 3 members of Parliament to Upper Nile State Legislative Assembly. Right Honorable Philip Akol Amon, Speaker. Honorable Yanyo Oluak Ajang, replacing the late Honorable Juliana Dak Padiel, Member. Honorable Andrew Mayom Deng, Member. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 5th day of the month of May in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Republican Decree number 159, relief of 2 county commissioners in Central Equatoria State. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 106A, 2A of the Transitional Constitution of the Republic of South Sudan 2011 as amended, read together with the Section 38(1) of the Interpretation of Laws and General Provisions Act 2006, I, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, do hereby relieve 2 county county commissioners in Central Equatoria State Government as hereunder. Honorable David Lisi Christopher, Commissioner Kajokeji County. Honorable George Wani Elia, Commissioner Terekeka County. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 5th day of the month of May in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba. Republican Decree number 159 for their 2025 appointment of 2 county commissioners in Central Equatoria State. Honorable Yongule Athanasio Lojojo, Commissioner Kajokeji County. Honorable Dr. Emmanuel Lakuladu Lomu, Commissioner Terekeka County. Issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 5th day of the month of May in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President.
There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. That is the presidential degree yesterday. So thank you, guys. Have a wonderful night. And those of you who are in Australia, is morning time and morning time in Africa. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thank you for watching. See you next time.